We've asked again and again and again, and I'm looking at the Defence Secretary again, and he has the opportunity to intervene on me now again to tell the House, to tell Parliament how much money his government wishes to invest in the successor programme.
Blank cheques. Blank cheque, Fallon.
Update, there came none.
Checks. Blank cheque, Tories.
Madam Deputy Speaker, it's not just about the cost. For us in Scotland, it's a question also about democracy. Because the people of Scotland have shown repeatedly and clearly and consistently that we are opposed to the renewal of nuclear weapons. When we went to the country, the electorate, on a manifesto commitment, we won elections in 2007, we won elections in 2011, we won elections in 2015 and 16, running on an explicitly anti-Trident manifesto. I am delighted to be joined on the front bench by the honourable member representing Faslane and Coolport, because the electorate of Argyll and Bute preferred an SNP parliamentarian elected on a non-Trident or a Liberal Democrat. But it's much more than an issue of party political difference, because in Scottish public life, civic life, from the Scottish Trade Union Congress to Scotland's churches, the Church of Scotland, the Bishops' Conference issued a statement this week. The Scottish Parliament has voted on the subject. All have voted or called for opposition to Trident renewal, and there's cross-party support, not just from the SNP, but from the Greens, from Scottish Labour. Almost every single one of Scotland's MPs tonight will vote against Trident replacement. With debt, deficit and borrowing levels forecast to get worse after Brexit, and more than £40 billion to be cut from public services by 2020, spending £167 billion or £179 billion or £205 billion, or whatever the number the government is not prepared to tell us it actually is an outrage. The Prime Minister's first vote is on Trident, and in the current climate this is totally wrong. It is the wrong approach to key priorities. We should be working to stabilise the economy and sorting out the chaos caused by the Brexit result. The Prime Minister has already undermined the words of her first speech, which I think many people across all parties found important. She vowed to fight against burning injustice, and we agree. But Trident fights no injustices. Trident is an immoral, obscene and redundant weapons system. And the vote on Trident is one of the most important this Parliament will ever take. And we have a government and as a Parliament an obligation to inform the public about such a massive decision. They have failed to do that. The Labour opposition is facing three ways at the same time and letting the government get away with this. We in the SNP are absolutely clear in our opposition to Trident. We would not commit to spend hundreds of billions of pounds on WMD, particularly at a time when this government is making significant cuts to public services. It would be both morally and economically indefensible. I am summing up. Mr. Speaker, Madam Deputy Speaker, today almost every single Scottish MP will vote against renewing Trident nuclear missiles. Only a few short weeks ago, Scotland voted to remain within the European Union. If Scotland is a nation, and Scotland is a nation, it is not a normal situation for the state to totally disregard the wishes of the people. And this government has a democratic deficit in Scotland, and with today's vote on Trident, it's going to get worse, not better. It will be for the Scottish people to determine whether we are properly protected in Europe and better represented by a government that we actually elect. At this rate, that day is fast approaching.